The whole day. I said, come to show nominate for the LRC.
Okay. For the LRC, Mina nominated the most beautiful, most stunning princess, Uminki.
What? How about it no British? How can't
Same nominated.
Impatient apartheid teachers. Apparently during the apartheid era here in South Africa, which started in 1948 to 1994 and was formed by the former president, Hendrik Verwoerd, black people, Indians, colors had limited options. Only whites had a variety of options. You could only become a teacher, a doctor, a nurse, a priest, a soldier, policeman. Those are the 6 professions, and then 2 other ordinary jobs. So in my school, which was a very popular school in the north of Pretoria, 40 kilometers north, Tsogo Secondary School, there was a teacher who used to degrade me, make fun of me. He was teaching us commerce, accounting, and business, saying I'm always surprised, I'm always not knowing what's going on. So apparently, I heard that he's trying to start his own business of selling car parts. So maybe it's even better because he does no commerce anyway. Do your own business. Right now we've got social media. Maybe the kind of person that mocks, get into roast comedy, where you mock people, post videos on YouTube and make money. There were other teachers who wondered how I managed to attend that school. There was a teacher who used to say he was teaching English and biology. Fortunately, I was not struggling in these subjects, but you could see he was impatient. He got irritated. He repeated something over and over. At least he did make something of himself. But nowadays, and even then, the teachers were not earning so much. They couldn't even afford themselves. They only had houses in the 80s before I was born, 4-room houses, and then in the 90s, some of them had scrap cars. And in 2000, it got bad because you are a teacher. You are supposed to be a good example to the youth that education is important and it pays. Crime doesn't pay. So I think if you're an impatient teacher, you are restricted by apartheid. Do something else when you're teaching. Put money aside. Start your own business so you don't have to continue to have a headache becoming a teacher.
What's going on here?
I said, I'm not trying. I was people from this school.
Okay. Why don't you guys have a lady what has I got? Minky, when's it?
Selling the rebel. Come down and I'm attending your KK.
Is it true, KK?
Yeah.
You know what? Oh, we are. Now we are going to house to get share. Get share. I'm going to look see that. Friends of me, my share will come. Okay, how do you get?
Can we hear? He's a teacher, but he's teaching children to misbehave. Although this one is an actor, the late Mr. Mzingwane, his soul rest in peace. But he's showing us that some teachers had no options. They became teachers only because they had limited options.
Okay, how do you get?
Bad teacher, bad example. Teachers, please with students, just imagine, bad example. But even the ones are just acting, but they are showing what was happening in township schools, teachers misleading children. Do something else.
No, I said.
He was a good actor. You think he was a teacher?
In spite of all the fussy.
He was just an actor, this one, but.
No, I said.
In spite of all the fastidiousness.
So, teacher, he was badly dressed, even when he met. When he met. Shit, son of my man. It was a different matter when he met the Tusker.
Oh, so he hasn't been reading this paragraph for the past 30 minutes.
Never, ever speak to your teacher like this.
Ahal, stop, sir. My final exam was with that.
You think I care? Huh? I passed my metric many years ago. Just get out of my desk. I said, get out. I said, get out.
That's what happens if you've got apartheid teachers, because he could just be running a tavern instead of coming to school drunk. But anyway, these ones are just acting. There was nothing else they could have done. They had limited options. He even mentioned that he actually wanted to do finance, but because he had limited options, they sort of closed him down. Anyway, no one is perfect. Because I think if you are that kind of teacher that's impatient with students, you make fun of teacher, you rather be a gangster. But being a gangster is illegal anyway, so rather have another option. If you want to do commerce, do commerce. Even if you are a teacher, at that time when you are working, you could be studying for a commerce, or starting your own business. You could even start your tavern somewhere. Then you find that you won't have a problem having to deal with students when you know yourself that you're not a very patient teacher. I mean, if you give people limited options, what else can they do? They can only choose what you give them. They have no other better options. So I think it would be a good idea. That teacher used to mock me to stop teaching. But maybe right now he's an old man, he doesn't teach anymore. What do you think? I think it's a good idea. If you know you're a player, you are the kind of father that would be busy with students, don't become their teacher. Just become a squatting. Have young girlfriends who are young enough to be your children, and knowing that you're not setting a bad example. A teacher giving children high marks because they are his girlfriends.
Seven, just around my camp.
Shai, just go back to your seat.
I want to know why you gave me a D, because I've never ever got a D in my life.
Your essay was badly structured.
What do you mean?
Your argument was not clear enough, and it was full of basic mistakes.
Where are the mistakes on the paper? Because you haven't even marked them.
Shai, forget it. Your essay was bad. Just get back to your seat.
So if you are the kind of teacher that will be having a relationship with students, don't be their teacher. If it was during circumstances where you have no option, it's understandable. You couldn't have done anything better. And there was also a teacher who didn't want to teach in a black school, but she had no options.
Okay, career guidance. Now we've talked about your goals and your interests. Today we're going to talk about your careers. So what do you want to be when you leave school?
Me?
Yes.
I think maybe.
I think maybe we'll come back to you. Sticks.
Okay. I want to work at Nando's. So that I can eat and load of meat.
I hear some of them are just comedians and the teacher quarreled with the students.
Hey, why not? Monsa, what do you want to be when you leave school?
I'm going to be a doctor.
Well, it's very difficult getting into medical school.
So?
Very few of my value rich students managed it.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying that your marks have to be very high.
And we can't get those marks.
Are you going to get